Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, so you never miss a play. The situation brewing in Washington is far more than just a player missing camp. It's a full-blown alarm bell for the Commanders organization. Terry McLaurin, widely known as Scary Terry, is not at training camp, and that absence has everything to do with a contract standoff that feels like it's teetering on the edge of disaster. The veteran wide receiver is looking for a $30 million per year deal, and honestly, given his consistent production over the years, who can blame him? McLaurin has racked up over 1,000 yards in 5 straight seasons and remains one of the most reliable, versatile, and professional pass catchers in the league. But the Commanders seem to be dragging their feet, a move that's not only disrespecting McLaurin's resume, but also threatening the progress of their prized young quarterback, Jayden Daniels. If Washington doesn't figure this out quickly, the damage might not just be financial, it could be developmental. And that's where things really get dicey. NFL analyst Louis Riddick didn't hold back when discussing the standoff, and he had every reason to sound the alarm. On ESPN's First Take, Riddick rated his concern level at a full 10 out of 10. And it's not just because McLaurin is skipping practice, it's because of who's missing those reps. With him, Jayden Daniels, the dynamic rookie quarterback who turned heads last season, is now being robbed of valuable time with his top target. It's July. Yes, and there's time before the season kicks off. But every missed snap is a missed opportunity for chemistry, timing, and growth. Riddick's point was loud and clear. If you want Daniels to continue on his upward trajectory, then you can't afford to leave McLaurin out of the building. Every day they're not working together, the offense is falling behind. This is about more than a paycheck. It's about building something sustainable and special in Washington. And let's not act like McLaurin is just some diva wide receiver holding out for vanity. This guy has done everything right his entire career. He's never made headlines for the wrong reasons, never caused locker room drama, and always showed up to work, even when the team around him was falling apart. And now, at the age of 29, with elite production still pouring in, he's simply asking to be paid what he's worth. This isn't some pipe dream, this is the market. Just look at guys like T. Higgins, Yamar Chase, and DK Metcalf. The going rate for top-tier wideouts is $30 million and climbing. McLaurin fits that mold and then some. If Washington thinks age is a reason to lowball him, they're playing a dangerous game. He's shown zero signs of slowing down, and his work ethic alone should command respect in dollars. You don't nickel and dime your best guys, not if you want to build a winning culture. Jayden Daniels' rise last season was electric. And let's not pretend he did it alone. A huge part of his success came from the connection he forged with McLaurin. 12 of Daniels' 25 touchdown passes went to no, 17. That's nearly half. And it's not by accident. McLaurin became Daniels' security blanket, his deep threat, his red zone go-to, all wrapped in one. The chemistry they built wasn't just promising, it was game-changing. It turned a rookie quarterback into a rising star and brought fans real hope for the future. But all that can be jeopardized if Washington lets this contract situation linger. You take away his top weapon, you put Daniels at a disadvantage. It's like pulling the rug out from under your own foundation. Why sabotage what could be the best QBW or duo the franchise has seen in years, maybe decades? It makes no sense, and Louis Riddick knows it. Riddick's frustration boils down to one word: continuity. He stressed the importance of keeping Daniels and McLaurin on the same page, day in and day out. Inside the facility, the reps they take together, the timing routes, the film sessions, those are irreplaceable. You can't replicate that chemistry over Zoom. You can't expect Daniels to take a leap forward if he's missing the most critical part of his offensive weaponry. This is about long-term development, about building an identity for the team. McLaurin isn't just a cog in the machine, he is the machine, especially in the passing game. Without him, everything becomes a struggle. The defense can sit on short routes, safeties can crowd the box, and Daniels loses that downfield threat who keeps defenses honest. This is how you derail a sophomore quarterback before he even gets going. And as Riddick said, if you keep playing around with fire, you're bound to get burned. We saw how badly things can go when a team fails to prioritize its offensive continuity. Just recently in San Francisco, Brandon Ayuk had a similar contract standoff, missed valuable preseason reps, and looked out of sync when week 1 arrived. It's not hard to imagine the same thing happening with McLaurin. If this stalemate drags into August, or worse, September, And here's the thing, Ayuk is a great player, but McLaurin has a stronger resume and a bigger impact on his team's offense if he shows up rusty. It won't just affect one game, it'll mess with the rhythm of the entire offense, shake Daniels' confidence, and put the team behind in a division that's already stacked with competition. Washington can't afford a slow start, not with so many eyes watching Daniels' progression. One or two bad games could be enough to derail a season and create even more controversy around the coaching staff, the front office, and the entire direction of the franchise. Let's stop pretending like this is only about money. It's about sending a message. It's about respect. McLaurin has earned every penny he's asking for. And by stalling, Washington is telling him he's not worth it. That kind of message doesn't just hurt McLaurin, it sends shockwaves through the entire locker room. What do you think other veterans are thinking right now? Or young stars who might consider staying long-term? If a guy like McLaurin can't get paid in Washington, then who can? The organization has a golden opportunity to show that it rewards loyalty, production, and leadership. Instead, they're turning it into a drawn-out soap opera that helps no one. You want to build a winning culture, then reward your culture guys. Terry McLaurin is that guy. And if you lose him, you lose more than yards and touchdowns, you lose your identity. It's also worth noting that Washington is in a financial window that most teams would kill for. Jaden Daniels is still on his rookie contract, which means the Commanders have extra cap flexibility for the next few years. This is the exact time you want to invest in star players around your quarterback. Locking up McLaurin now doesn't hurt your long-term planning, it strengthens it. You don't have to worry about balancing a mega deal for your QB just yet, so why the hesitation? If anything, they should be using this time to overinvest in offensive weapons and protection. Surround Daniels with talent. Surround him with leadership. Surround him with players like McLaurin who make everyone better. It's how the Chiefs built around Mahomes. It's how the Eagles built around Hurts. Washington has a blueprint, they just need the courage to follow it. And let's be honest, this isn't a guy you can just replace. Terry McLaurin is one of the most consistent receivers in the league. And that kind of reliability doesn't grow on trees. Draft picks are hit or miss. Free agents come with baggage and fit concerns. McLaurin is already in the building. He knows the playbook, has chemistry with the quarterback, and sets the tone in the locker room. He's a leader by example, and the fans adore him. So why on earth would you risk letting all of that walk out the door over a few $1 million? This isn't just about 2025, it's about the next 5 years. If you believe in Daniels, you invest in the players who help him thrive, period. McLaurin's not asking for a handout. He's asking to be paid like what he is, a top-tier wide receiver in the NFL, and frankly, he's earned every single cent. Louis Riddick summed it up perfectly. He's not worried about some so-called sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels. He's worried about Washington sabotaging their own success by failing to support their young quarterback. And he's absolutely right. There's no curse of the second year. That's lazy thinking. What matters is who's around you. And if you take away Daniels' best weapon, you're not just limiting his upside, you're actively undercutting his development. That's what Riddick meant when he said, "You're playing with fire." Because if Daniels struggles this year without McLaurin, fans won't blame the quarterback, they'll blame the front office. And they'll be right. This is a moment of truth for the Commanders. They can either step up, pay their guy, and protect their future, or they can fumble the opportunity and watch it all go up in flames. Just get him signed now, before it's too late. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Big news shaking the NFL landscape has just started to ripple through the league's inner circles. And it seems like we might be on the cusp of a seismic shift. Rumors are swirling that T.J. Watt, one of the fiercest defensive players in recent memory, is no longer suiting up for Pittsburgh. Word on the street is that Watt has inked a deal with the Washington Commanders, a move that would undoubtedly change the dynamics of the NFC East and set off a firestorm of speculation about the direction of both franchises. This potential signing could be the spark that ignites an all-out war between old rivals, and a signal that Washington is aggressively reshaping its defense under the guidance of Dan Quinn. Imagine the implications of Watt fresh off his dominant performances in Pittsburgh, bringing his relentless pass-rushing skills to Washington's defensive front. The Commanders would suddenly boast one of the most intimidating defensive units in the league, turning heads and raising questions about playoff prospects. This buzz isn't just idle chatter, it's getting serious, and insiders hint that the deal could be finalized soon, sparking a new chapter in Watt's career. and a fresh rivalry between Pittsburgh and Washington. The whispers from NFL insiders suggest that this move is far from a simple player transfer. It's more like a strategic declaration of war. T.J. Watt leaving the Steelers, the team he has been synonymous with for years, represents a dramatic shift in the power balance within the league. For Washington and Dan Quinn, this acquisition could be the crown jewel in their rebuild, positioning them as a dominant defensive force that opponents will dread facing. Watt's skill set, his ability to pressure the quarterback, disrupt plays, and change the momentum of games, is precisely what the Commanders need to complement their defensive scheme. This could be Dan Quinn's way of saying he's no longer content with just being competitive. He wants to dominate, and Watt is the perfect weapon to help achieve that goal. The buzz is that Washington's front office went all in on this deal, indicating a high level of confidence in their vision and Watt's fit within their system. Fans and analysts alike are buzzing, wondering if this marks the beginning of a new era, where Washington rises to prominence with Watt as their defensive cornerstone. Sources close to the situation hint that negotiations were intense and involved some complex maneuvering behind the scenes. Pittsburgh, known for its passionate fan base and rich defensive tradition, is reportedly heartbroken over losing Watt, who has been a face of the franchise. However, the Commanders' offer must have been too compelling to resist, not only financially, but also in terms of the role and respect Watt would receive. Washington appears to be presenting itself as the perfect destination for a player of Watt's caliber, promising him the chance to be the focal point of a defense hungry to prove itself. The strategic implications are huge. By acquiring Watt, the Commanders potentially solve their long-standing defensive issues and send a strong message to the rest of the league. Washington is back with a vengeance. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh faces the challenge of replacing an irreplaceable talent, and the ripple effects on their defensive strategy could be profound. This drama unfolding behind the scenes is what makes the NFL offseason so captivating, as power dynamics shift and teams make bold moves to position themselves for future success, adding fuel to the fire. There's talk about how this signing could intensify the already fierce rivalry between the Steelers and the Commanders. These two teams have had their moments, but with Watt now possibly suiting up in Washington colors, every encounter could become a high-stakes battle. Dan Quinn, known for his aggressive defensive tactics, would now have one of the best edge rushers in the league at his disposal, someone who can single-handedly change the course of games. It's the kind of acquisition that turns heads, makes opponents sweat, and gives the home crowd something to roar about. Fans are already imagining the electrifying moments where Watt dismantles opposing offenses, becoming the Commanders' secret weapon. The intrigue only grows when considering how Pittsburgh will respond. Will they try to find a new defensive superstar, or is this the beginning of a rebuilding phase? Either way, the narrative of a war declared between these teams is gaining momentum, and it's capturing the imagination of NFL followers everywhere. Rumors also suggest that Watt's decision wasn't solely about money. The opportunity to work under Dan Quinn and be the centerpiece of Washington's defensive revival appears to have played a significant role. Sources say that Watt wants to be part of a project where his impact is maximized and where his leadership on and off the field can steer the team to new heights. Washington's commitment to building around him hints at a long-term vision that aligns with Watt's ambitions. This kind of mutual dedication is what could transform a team's culture and elevate its status in the league. The timing is perfect too, as the Commanders seem poised to challenge for playoff spots in the coming seasons. Watt's presence could provide the spark that converts potential into performance, and the whispers from training camps and locker rooms hint at an energized atmosphere around the franchise. With Watt in their ranks, the Commanders' defense could become a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks and an anchor for a team hungry for success. Adding to the intrigue, some insiders claim that Watt's move could influence other players to reconsider their own futures. The domino effect in the NFL is well known. When a star player jumps ship, it often triggers a wave of shifts across the league. Other defensive stars might view Washington as a new destination of choice, especially if the Commanders continue to demonstrate ambition through signings like this. The ripple effect could see Washington becoming a magnet for top defensive talent, reshaping the league's competitive landscape. On the flip side, Pittsburgh might struggle to keep their remaining stars motivated or attract new talent if they're perceived as a team losing its core identity. The power struggle between these franchises could intensify, leading to some blockbuster matchups in the seasons ahead. Fans of both teams are already buzzing with speculation, imagining what it would look like for Watt to lead Washington's defense against his former team. The drama unfolding is classic NFL offseason gold, promising plenty of excitement. When the season finally kicks off, some analysts speculate that this move might also reflect a broader trend in the NFL toward aggressive, high-impact defensive playmaking. Watt's style, combining relentless pressure with exceptional technique, embodies the kind of defense that can disrupt even the most potent defenses. Washington's apparent willingness to invest heavily in a defensive superstar signals a shift in their organizational philosophy, perhaps a return to valuing defensive dominance as the foundation for sustained success. Dan Quinn's history as a defensive mastermind complements this approach perfectly. If the rumors hold true, the Commanders might be positioning themselves as the league's next defensive powerhouse, capable of controlling games through sheer defensive intensity. For Watt, this move offers a chance to cement his legacy not just as a great player, but as a transformative figure who helped resurrect a franchise's defense. The potential for epic battles in the NFC East and beyond makes this scenario one that NFL fans are watching closely, eager to see how it unfolds on the field. Moreover, the speculation around Watt's signing with the Commanders has fans and experts debating the impact on Washington's overall team dynamics. Integrating a player of Watt's stature into any defense requires adjustments both in scheme and in locker room leadership. The expectation is that Watt's presence will elevate everyone around him, pushing teammates to rise to his level of intensity and professionalism. The Commanders under Dan Quinn's leadership could see a transformation, not only in their defensive performance but in their team culture as well. The rumor mill is also buzzing about how this might affect the offense, with some suggesting that a stronger defense could give the offense more freedom and confidence to take risks. The balance between offense and defense is crucial, and the addition of Watt could tip that balance favorably. Observers are keen to see if Washington's front office will continue to bolster their roster around Watt, signaling a commitment to building a championship contender. The potential signing has also sparked speculation about how Pittsburgh plans to move forward without one of its defensive cornerstones. Losing Watt is no small blow, and the Steelers' front office faces a critical challenge in addressing the gap left by his departure. Rumors are swirling about whether Pittsburgh will attempt to find a replacement through the draft, free agency, or perhaps by developing a rising star within their ranks. The pressure is on to ensure that their defense remains competitive in a division known for physicality and toughness. The Steelers have a proud defensive tradition, and the departure of Watt raises questions about how they intend to uphold that legacy. This storyline adds an extra layer of drama to the NFL offseason as fans speculate whether Pittsburgh can maintain its identity or if this marks the start of a transition phase. The chess match between these two franchises is intensifying, with the Watt saga at its center. Finally, the ongoing buzz about T.J. Watt joining the Washington Commanders under Dan Quinn has ignited hopes and expectations among the fan base and analysts alike. This potential blockbuster signing could be the catalyst that propels Washington into a new era of defensive dominance and playoff contention. The narrative writes itself, a star player leaving his longtime team to become the centerpiece of a rising franchise, sparking a rivalry that could define seasons to come. While nothing is officially confirmed, the energy around this rumor is undeniable, capturing the imagination of football fans everywhere. As the NFL offseason progresses, all eyes will be on Washington and Pittsburgh, watching closely for further developments and clues about the future of their defenses. If Watt does indeed join the Commanders, we could be witnessing one of the most significant shifts in the NFL's defensive landscape in recent memory, a move that declares war and reshapes the game. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.